you, thank you, thank you.
And you all sound as good as you always do, Churchy, my lad.
Good to see you, David.
Well, it's good to be back. I see you kept things running smoothly in my necessary absence.
Indeed we have. You will be pleased to know I made a wonderful, wonderful deal for some 5-star Courvoisier brandy.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, one of the casks is the brandy. The other one's just some surplus rum.
Oh, well, that's all well and good, but there are some other things I did tell you to take care
Oh,
of.
yeah, the cement.
Ah!
Yeah, not a problem. We got 400 weight of cement, all in bags, all ready for use.
Well done, Churchy. I knew I could. If I turned things over to you, everything would be fine.
Oh, to be sure. And how was it in Los Angeles?
Oh, it was wonderful. Lots of good nightlife, lots of good food, lots of good, well, we won't get into detail about that.
Lovely palms that no doubt you greased.
Oh, yes, the palms, since I have been there, are now very well greased. And good to see you too, boys. You're sounding wonderful as always. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Serpent's Den. My name is David O'Brien, and I will be your host for this evening. And some of you here I recognize here as regulars at the club, and others I hope to make some new friends tonight. So those of you who are new to the club, welcome, welcome. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am the owner of this establishment, but I'm also involved in many other endeavors here in Chicago. And I am a bit of a businessman, as you may point out, but there are some rumors about me. Well, first of all, my closest friends refer to me as Fork Tongue. Now, that is a name I feel is appropriate for a man of my caliber. But I will tell you, it really hurts my feelings when folks refer to me as a crook, a gangster, and a loan shark.
And you should know that when Mr. O'Brien's feelings get hurt, he has this tendency to want to share the experience.
Very well put. Churchy over here knows me very well. Ladies and gentlemen, Churchy Bloomberg, right-hand man and band leader. Big round of applause for him. And Churchy's backup band, the Cement Shoes. We have Lefty on guitar and Righty on bass. Now let me tell you a little bit about myself and how I became the man of such prominence that I am today. Now, I started off from humble beginnings, just a poor little orphan boy coming over here from Ireland. Now, my parents immigrated with the whole family over here to Chicago in hopes of cashing in on what I see most of you know as the American dream. But for my family, sadly, that did not happen. My poor father was not used to any of the customs that you guys have here in America, and he was unable to find any work. So eventually we got so desperate that my father took a job for a man by the name of Steel Hands McMurphy. Now, Steel Hands was one of the bosses here in Chicago, and for a time working for Steel Hands McMurphy, things were going very well. We had money coming in on a regular basis. He was able to do some wonderful things for my mother, and let me tell you, the money was coming in this way when the government was looking that way, if you know what I mean. He knows what I mean. Well, eventually, though, the good times ended. My father was asked to hold some money that was supposed to eventually reach Steel Hands McMurphy, and it never did. And my father was the one who had to take the blame for it. And what they all said about my father? It was all lies, I tell you. Lies, pure and simple. So, Steel Hands had my father terminated, if you know what I mean. So, I had to leave school and deliver groceries, and my poor mother had to go work in a sweatshop. Now, I will admit, as a young man, I did do my fair share of small crimes. And eventually I got noticed by members of Steel Hands McMurphy's gang, and they asked me, would you like a job? I said, sure. So I started off running numbers, but eventually started working my way up the ladder, if you know what I mean. Now, this whole time, I had a motivation for doing all of this. If I could just get high enough in the ranks, I could get me revenge on Steel Hands McMurphy. Now, one night, we were all out at another restaurant. Mr. McMurphy decided that he wanted the young lady to get him another drink. I went to Mr. McMurphy and I said, Mr. McMurphy, don't worry. I know how you like your drinks. I will make sure the young lady makes it exactly the way you enjoy it. So I went over to the young lady. I slipped her a 20 and handed her a tiny little bottle. And I said, Mr. McMurphy likes his drinks a certain way. If you could put a couple of drops of this concoction in there, you'll make him very happy. She put 1-2 drops in and brought the drink back to McMurphy. He took one sip of the drink and then fell into convulsions right there on the floor and died. So the whole gang looked in astonishment. My goodness, O'Brien actually had the courage to take out Steel Hands McMurphy. Now, once their shock cleared up, they realized, well, we need a new leader for the gang. Now, because of my courage in that moment, I was named the new leader of Steel Hands McMurphy's gang. And I told everybody there's going to be some changes with me running things around here. So I eventually converted the gang into this fine establishment which we call the Serpent's Den. And I recruited the right people, of course, Churchy Bloomberg, my right-hand man. Again, big round of applause for him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a fine evening here. Because, you see, Ruby, how many times do I have to tell you? Not in front of the clientele.
Clientele? They're just your gambling buddies.
Now, Ruby, we've talked about this. How many times have I told you, don't call me that in front of the gang?
Well, let's see. Today is Thursday, so that makes it...
Oh, no, never mind. Ruby, honey, Ruby, go get me a drink.
Okay.
Well, with that in mind, folks, my name is David Fork Tongue O'Brien, and that was Ruby.